so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads out there. Thanks for tuning your beautiful brainwaves into another episode of the Positive Head Podcast, where we are firmly convinced that creating success and happiness is rooted in understanding the ultimate nature of reality and the fact that as human beings, we are all immensely powerful fractals of the one and only source consciousness, which creates and animates all things. Now, of course, understanding this powerful truth is one thing. Applying this incredibly empowering wisdom to everyday life, well, that's another, which is exactly why we provide you with a fresh serving of soul food for thought 5 days a week to help constantly remind you of what matters most. You are it. And I'm your host, Brandon Beecham. I'm the reflection and extension of you who will be here each Wednesday interviewing a different consciousness changemaker. And on the other 4 weekdays, leading the way to ensure that your perspective is consistently expanded, your vibration is constantly elevated, and your heart is overflowing and full. Also, before we jump into today's episode, I'd like to take a moment to tell you about a few sponsors that not only help to make it possible to produce this show 5 days a week, but that I'm also genuinely passionate about promoting, especially since they're helping to fund all the cool projects we have in the works, such as the Positive Head app, the docuseries that I'm intending to begin shooting within the next year, and whatever else we dream up over here at Positive Headquarters to help spread consciousness across the planet. Now, if you're short on time or just super excited for today's topic and want to dive right in and skip these ads, feel free to fast forward about
4 minutes
to get right into today's show. That being said, I strongly encourage you to listen because the reason I'm passionate about my sponsors is because they've made a huge impact in my own life, which is why I've aligned with these organizations. And I firmly believe they can do the same for you too. The first longtime stellar supporter of the show that I want to mention is Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online with over 8,000 video titles. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. The second sponsor I'm extremely passionate about promoting is Purium. It's no mystery that bringing your mind, body, and spirit into balance is necessary if a person truly intends to manifest the greatest and greatest version of themselves. And as of recording this, it's been about 4 months since I started taking the Purium Core 4 superfood products every day. And I can honestly and sincerely say my mind, body, and spirit have never felt more in alignment. If you've been looking for a way to easily get superfoods into your system every day with a simple plan that can help you reestablish a healthier foundation and relationship with food, I cannot recommend for you to start with the Purium 40-Day Ultimate Nutrition Plan, which includes a 10-day metabolic reset and cleanse enough. I spent personally months researching Purium before I jumped in, and now myself and over 150 other positive heads have started with the 40-Day Ultimate Nutrition Plan, and many of us have continued taking the Core 4 products on an ongoing basis daily ever since. I personally intend to take them for the rest of my life because they played a huge role transforming my vibrational state. If you decide to do it, it'll cost you just over $7 a day for the first 40 days and only about $5 a day after. But if you do it the way that I recommend you to do it, the smartest and most beneficial way, it won't cost you anything. I recommend you to just look at where you can reallocate money you are already spending on food each day. Essentially, you're just going to swap out the unhealthiest stuff you're in the habit of purchasing in exchange for Purium superfoods. And this way, it costs you nothing to participate in the transformation and cleanse. And it creates exponential benefit because now you've replaced something that lowers your vibration with something that is going to make you feel super high in the healthiest kind of way. Just take a few minutes, see where you can cut out $5 to $7 a day and commit to doing it. It's that simple. Also, for support, we'll be doing a big group transformation with other positive heads and soul family once each month for support. So I recommend, going right now, ordering your 40-day Ultimate Nutrition Plan bundle so that you have it when the next group transformation starts. Procrastination is not your friend. Order it now. You can thank me later, because I can assure you, you will not be sorry you've decided to send a message to the universe that you're ready to step up your vibrational game and reclaim your health sovereignty. Just head over to ishoppurium.com. That's spelled ISHOPPURIUM.com. Be sure to use the code POSITIVEHEAD, all one word, for either $50 off or a 25% discount, whichever is greater. And also, if you want to learn more details about the Purium products, why I'm so passionate about promoting them beforehand, you can go check out several videos I shot discussing these things in greater detail. You can also hear my interview with the very inspiring founder, David Sandoval. Much, much more over at positivehead.com/transformation. All right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. It is a magical Monday here in the studio as I record. So grateful to be with you all, as always. And always, it's a pleasure and honor, etc. You get it. You understand. So today, how are we going to start off this magical week? What should we talk about? Well, I had a really cool little diagram writing sent to me by a P-head, Lisa Shisky. I think I might be pronouncing that right. Hopefully. And by the way, if you want to connect with any other positive heads, the Positive Heads Facebook group is a great way to do that. So I imagine Lisa's in there. But she sent me something awesome via email weeks back, and I decided today it kind of inspired me to read what she shared and then talk about the whole idea of time and timelessness. And it's a topic that's a little perplexing, this idea that there is no time, yet, time being an illusion. We've heard this a lot. I've talked about this a lot, yet we all are looking at our watches and have places to go. I know I have an appointment in exactly 1 hour and 5 minutes, right? So is time an illusion? Yes, no, maybe so. Relative truths, right? From one perspective, I would say it is. From another, I would say it very much exists. So what vantage point are we speaking from? So I'm going to dive into that a little bit more deeply so we can wrap our brains around this wonderful, wonderful construct of consciousness that is time. And before I do, I would like to take a moment and read a review on iTunes. You guys know I love my iTunes reviews. Not only do they help us to, reach new people, but they certainly help to fuel my labor of love to continue to fuel my labor of love, rather. That is this show. So if you haven't reviewed on iTunes, I definitely would appreciate you taking the time to do that. Yes, there is time when it comes to reviewing, and I'd like you to use it if you would. Please and thank you. And this one came in by Casey Mitchell in New Mexico. And the title is What You Seek is Seeking You. Listening to Brandon and all the light souls he is blessed to encounter has been a significant stepping stone to better soul health and positive self-talk. It's a daily reminder to submerge myself into the unknown with a smile regardless of the outcome. When the abrasiveness of the simulation we call life comes crashing down, I can count on this podcast to remind me that every struggle is a reminder to fine-tune my inner self somehow. And maybe it's okay to enjoy and appreciate even the wilder days. I love listening to all aspects of the podcast because each moment is specifically targeted to encourage us, even those ads. You won't regret listening! Exclamation. Aw, she must be referring to the person who gave me a bad review a couple reviews back for the ads at the top of the show. And I'm glad you appreciate the ads. You can definitely skip over them, Casey, and any of you guys. And of course, they're things that I promote that I very much back and love, right? So a lot better than a Coca-Cola commercial from where I sit. But anyway, thank you so much for reviewing once again. And if you haven't reviewed, would love you very much if you would. All right, so Oh, one of the things that popped up for me that I want to share real quick, that is just kind of a little side note for today's show is, speaking of that bad review, actually it's synchronistic now that you said that, because this is something I wanted to throw out there. Since getting that 1-star review, and someone also commenting and saying something negative, I've caught myself looking. So when you log into to iTunes to read reviews, first thing it shows at the top is like 5 stars and how many people have left 5-star reviews, and 4 and how many have left, and 3 and 2 and 1, right? And there's only like 13 1-star out of almost 1,000 total, right? And when that one came up, I noticed it went from 12 to 13, right? And then the actual writing came in from that person. And so, what I've noticed since then is I catch myself when I log in, I'm looking for, actually, let me back that up. It went from 11 to 12 with that one. And I noticed myself looking, every time I would log in, immediately my eyes going to the 1-star. And seeing, is there a new one? Did it jump to 13? And I did that for like several weeks. It's been a couple weeks since that negative review. And I noticed it just jumped to 13. And then it occurred to me, I'm like, hold on. Of course it just jumped to 13. I'm giving energy to it every time I log in. It was something I wasn't really catching myself doing. And now it just occurred to me today, and I wanted to actually speak on it. So, of course, there's almost always a synchronicity in the review that's queued up. And this is perfect. Like, I plan to mention this, and then, of course, she references it in her review with a winky face. And, it's just, so beautiful, isn't it? How that happens. You just can't plan this stuff. And it's just, I love it. So, anyway, yeah, I caught myself looking, and of course I saw the number jump from 12 to 13, and when you take 13 out of almost 1,000 total reviews now, it's like, that's pretty minimal. So for it to jump in those few weeks to 13 is really probably statistically unlikely, right? But I was giving energy to it. I was focusing on it. It's like, you've heard me talk about when they're training race car drivers, if they start to spin out, what they teach them to do is, whatever you do, look away from the wall. Because if you look towards it, you are calling it in. You're attracting it, and you hit it every time. So what was I doing? I was looking towards the wall. I was giving energy towards, and each time I'd open it up, it's almost like my heart would jump. Like, is there going to be a 1-star review again? And so this is just a beautiful, little side note lesson for me and for you to really evaluate. Are you looking at the wall on anything that you don't want to see more of? And we can slip into that. If I can slip into it, pretty sure you can slip into it. Well, maybe some of you are ahead of me in this regard, and God bless you. That's amazing. But, probably some of you are looking at the wall when you shouldn't be. And well, there is no should or shouldn't, but based off of what it is you want to create more of, you shouldn't be, right? Relative to what you want to create. So use this moment, use this little lesson that I just garnered today, that it came into my reality and realization that I was doing this right before recording. So I wanted to talk about it, and just be aware if you're looking at the wall when because that's what happens a lot of times, is something happens that we don't like, and then you start really hyper focusing on it, because we're such sensitive beings, right? We're so darn sensitive, and it's something that can be, the more sensitive you are, the more of a challenge, it can be at times, but it's also your gift. It's like, my son is pursuing acting, and he's very, very sensitive, as you guys have heard me talk about before. And so he gets really in his head and nervous, and, his teacher is told him wow, you're incredible with your level of sensitivity and these sensory exercises they do. He's way ahead of the pack, and yet he also, that's what causes him to get in his head so much and focus on what he doesn't want. So for him, it's it's such a good thing for him to work on focusing on where he wants his very sensitive instrument to be focused. And so we all need to really be aware. Are you paying attention to what you want to see more of? Give it every time I log in from now, I'm going to look and see if the 5 stars go up. That's my new focal point. As soon as I log in, and I'm not even going to look at the 1 star. So I'm going to avoid them completely. So That's my plan. I'm sticking to it. All right, so let's dive into today's topic. And I want to talk about time and this whole idea that time is an illusion, right? We've heard this, and this can be confusing to people. Albert Einstein said the distinction between the past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. He also said reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one, right? It's a very famous quote by him. Eckhart Tolle said, time isn't precious at all because it is an illusion. What you perceive as precious is not time, but the one point that is out of time, the now. That is precious indeed. The more you are focused on time, past and future, the more you miss the now, the most precious thing there is. And I really love that. That's super, super powerful. And I'm going to read now. I'm going to just go right into this piece of writing that was shared by Lisa, as I mentioned, and the author is Simran Singh. And Simran said, time is a wheel, a circumference of experience occurring all at once. The illusion of time is that you go from there to here, or then to now. It is even as far-fetched as believing you will travel from this point to that, or today to tomorrow. However, every moment exists within itself. You carry your past with you always. It is interwoven in your cellular structure. Your every move, word, and thought is from reliving an experience you call memory. You can have whatever you want. Simply be there now. Your future is also written in your cells. You are always stepping into a direction you've already been. Your soul knows where to go because it's already there. Only the mind makes time linear, and this belief creates the steps, the path, and the passage. It is the mind that creates aging, loss, or destinations. It does not know that within its own quiet stillness is eternity. It does not know that within its winding caverns is the ability to be at any place and any time with anyone. Time is not the enemy. It is the game created, an imaginative structure built to house a framework of stories. Loosen your grip on time and you will find it stretches in all manner of ways. You are space, you are timelessness, you are eternal, you are every moment. Wow, very poignantly written, very beautiful. Makes me think instantly of Shaman Durek when he was on the show a few weeks ago. And he was talking about perceiving, someone who was down the road at the gym working out and what they were wearing and what they were thinking, and how, as his grip is obviously loosened on the story of, who and what he is on his mind, and he's kind of exiting that cage, right? And so, you have people who have experiences of visiting the past or the future, or what we perceive as the past or the future. So this is just a very incredible, powerful thing to realize that, hold on, you've been put in a box in some regards, but you're allowed to step outside of that box. And perhaps that is part of the game that we came to play. Okay, I'm going to put myself in the cell, so to speak, so that I can have the experience from within the cell, and then say, hold on, there's the key. It was never locked. I just thought it was locked. It's kind of like the jar jumpers. Fleas. My friend a long time ago referred to them as jar jumpers, and the fact that you can put them, they can jump super, super high. But if you put them in a jar, and which they could easily jump out of, and you put a lid on it, they'll hit the top. And they'll just keep jumping up and down. But after they realize how high, they never jump any higher than the lid. So then you can take the lid off and they'll just keep jumping and they'll never, ever jump out. Same thing with like a horse, I think I saw, or an elephant or something one time, where it was just tied up to like something like super flimsy and feeble, and it didn't believe that it could, believed it was anchored. I can't remember, either it had been tied up that way when it was young and it really couldn't get away, or it would just, had been somehow convinced that it couldn't get away. And so here it is, able to exit at any point in time, but not aware of it. And so I think that's some of what's going on with this whole time-space thing, and us only being able to focus in this now. So That being said, this idea that it is an illusion, I would say yes. Does it exist? I would say yes. I would say it's a divine dichotomy, two apparently contradictory things that are both true, depending on the vantage point from which you are viewing it. Right? So it is relative truths. So are the past and future and all these things happening in the eternal now? Yep. Is your 5th birthday party happening on another channel? Yes. But it also, I have a meeting in an hour that I need to get to, right? And because I am viewing from the focal point of Brandon Beecham, the avatar that's at this point in its level of understanding and this level of its relation to time. So it's still got a grip on me, right? Even though I can talk about these things theoretically, I haven't quite started to bend it in the way maybe like Shaman Durek has in that example. I'm not tuning into the person down the road, but I believe him wholeheartedly that he is, right? I believe people wholeheartedly that are having experiences remembering, or, I think of my friend Luna telling me a couple months back, she's like, yeah, Brandon, I'm having these crazy experiences where I'm literally bilocating into my other me's, and I'm having these experiences where in those moments, I'm no more Luna than I am them. Now I come back to Luna afterwards and then I'm me again, but in those moments I'm equally both. And sometimes those are beautiful experiences for her, and sometimes they've been like kind of traumatic things that are happening. And it's like, wow, that's like the you are jumping out of the jar for sure, right? So this is just something to really consider. I think that yes, it is as that even said, as Simran said, it is the mind that creates aging, loss, or destinations in time, right? It is a construct. It's a side effect of your consciousness, as Bashar put it. And so it is something that we're constantly evolving our relationship to it. And that's a beautiful thing, like to start to move, okay, from the grandest scheme, I can know theoretically that it doesn't exist and all that matters is, the now, that's what Eckhart Tolle talks a lot about. He says time is a criminal. It deceives you. Then it kills you. The police can only ever find secondary evidence, right? You can't see it actually happening, right? You can look at an old picture and see 20 years ago and say, okay, I look different now. Time must be responsible, but you never catch it in the act. You can only ever experience the now. And that's why he's saying, all of the power, the most precious thing there is the now. The criminal can never be caught. It's a phantom. And so as we sort of reestablish our relationship and understanding of time, it's going to shift the way we experience it completely, the side effects of it, of that, of what it does to us. And that includes like aging slower and more, rudimentary things like that, and so it's a very, very powerful thing to understand that you are both. You are subjected to it, but you may, as you evolve, continue to be less and less subjected to it. You may become more multidimensional, the way your multidimensional self can perceive all your lives simultaneously and have in kind of, somewhat maybe like Luna was experiencing, where it's like she's tapping into more of what her higher self, how it experiences its lives. It's like, oh, I can see how these two are connected to each other in this beautiful web because it's all interwoven and connected, I believe, right? And it's always reflecting itself. And you have moments in quote unquote time that are influencing other moments of time. They're like, they're somehow relational in a special or unique way. So yeah, this is a heavy one. It's an intense one, but I think a lot of it is like really feeling into it as well, feeling into some of these concepts and really, at the end of the day, understanding that no matter what level of perception of time you ever have as you evolve and as you expand and become more of what you're capable of becoming, you always are going to find that you're in a now. You are always in the now, and that is symbolic of eternity, right? It's always here. It's always happening. 1 billion Earth years from now, you'll be in the now. Some now, right? Experiencing something somewhere, somehow, with some level of perspective that will probably be quite different than the one you have now, in this now. So That's the thing. It's this whole thing is shifting constantly. Look at how much your perspective on reality has shifted in the short time, maybe in the last 2 years, right? That's a moving train. It's going to continue to shift, and the effect you have, the way you experience is going to shift along with it. So we're just getting warmed up here, I think, and that's pretty exciting. Let's take a listen here. This is a clip that Abraham talked about, where someone was asking Seth, who's another sort of channel that's, as the questioner says, very scientific. Going back, I want to say it's called Seth Speaks, goes back to the 70s. I've read a little bit of it here and there. It's really, really fascinating. But Seth gets, whoa, that was weird. As I was stating that, my fan just turned up its volume. Like, I have a fan blowing on me, and it's like, whoa, somehow it just like turned up a notch. Very, very interesting. Yeah, my fan like increased speed without being told to turn up. Okay, so yeah, Seth Speaks is a book written in the 70s. I think it was the 70s, or even one who channeled this entity, Seth, who gets very, mathematical and specific and scientific in its explanation of the ultimate nature of reality. So this person comes to Abraham with a question about that, and how Seth basically stated our reincarnational lives are simultaneously happening at once. And I think Abraham gives a really good breakdown of how we can view all of this. Take a listen.
Yes. Hi. I've waited so long for you. Not really. No, you're right, but to me. Okay. I'm going to start off by saying that I was encouraged to read the Seth books after I'd read all of the Abraham books over and over.
Can you hear her? Get in there. Guys. Get in there a little tighter.
Okay. I was encouraged to read the Seth books after reading all of the Abraham books over and over. And if it wasn't for me reading all of the Abraham books over and over and over and getting something more out of it each and every time, that I would have never understood Seth. Because I find he was very scientific. Like we're electrical magnetical units and all that kind of stuff, and coordinate points and stuff like that. But I am getting a lot of benefit. But he said a lot of stuff that I would like you to clarify if possible, because you are so brilliant in doing that. Helping us understand. Okay, and...
Or you could ask Seth.
No, well, when is Seth going to have a cruise? Okay.
Well, what we mean by that is anything that has been stimulated within you as a question.
Yes.
The universe will provide for you a direct route to the answer of it.
Right.
And this may be the route that you're seeking. We're just saying that you do not need any specific vortex through which your solutions to problems or your answers to questions come. Because if you have the question, the answer will come. And we just want you to know that. Because it's ever so much more efficient to just let it come from wherever you are.
Mm-hmm. I was actually mainly looking for validation, and maybe it could help others as well. Anyways, the question is, our reincarnational lives, according to Seth, are simultaneously happening at once, as well as time being an illusion, and I would like some clarification on that one.
The thing about that makes it confusing for those of you who are focused in your time-space reality is that you have literally, we had a conversation earlier before lunch about the vibrational variance in non-physical as it relates to the vibrational variance in the physical. And we acknowledge that from the non-physical perspective that there is a vibrational variation that you would not be able to discern from your physical format. Now, some might take that to mean that you are not highly evolved like the non-physical is, but that is not the way in which we meant it. The way that we meant it is that you have slowed time and space to a place where you can more precisely extract meaning and desire from it for the purpose of focusing. And then when you do so, Source focuses upon it for this powerful earth-creating kind of creation, while you have the benefit of then bringing yourself up to vibrational speed with it. Did you follow that a little bit? In other words, this is the leading edge of creation. You are the pioneers out here in this more precise deciphering of contrast. So with that same sort of basis of understanding, then we can refer to what you're talking about and say to you, read your statement again.
The first one again?
The question?
Reincarnational lives are simultaneously happening.
So the discernment of that which may seem simultaneous from non-physical, who can think all thoughts simultaneously, who can remember past, experience present, and imagine future simultaneously. In other words, it's just a difference in the focus, that's all. We want to say, and Seth does too, that there is a misunderstanding in the way that you have taken that, because there is no separate, all of your power is in your now, and the only power that matters, the only power worth understanding and utilizing is the power of alignment between the non-physical point of view and the physical point of view. And so as you use your power of focus here and now, you can focus about the past, and you can focus about the present, or you can focus about the future, but you're doing it all right now. Okay. You're doing it all now. And there are so many people who are using their attention to the past as their excuse to not allow their alignment with now, you see. The other issue that we take with this interpretation of what you're reading here, because this is the part of it that is really off, we want you to realize that while the idea of time, whether the 16th century, the 14th century, the 19th century, the 25th century, in other words, as you're talking about all of these time and space perspectives, we want you to realize that regardless of what label has been given to the era, that the fact of it is that as we are having this conversation here, non-physical merging with physical, that we are, whether you are recognizing it in the moment or not, taking thought beyond that which it has been before. This discussion is causing an expansion of the universe. So it must be said, at least it's accurate when we say it, that the universe just became more than it was just before. And if that is true, then it cannot be true that there cannot be a past and a present and a future in the way that you understand it to be. In other words, if there was less before and there is more now, that means there has been expansion. And you just have to accept that an eternity is a time-based concept, and being and foreverness is too. And in this experience, you are just deciphering it more than non-physical cares to decipher. You are more interested in time. We are more interested in eternity. You are more lack-based in your attention to time. We are not lack-based in it at all. And that really is the message that was being expressed there.
Okay.
And that is easier to wrap your thoughts around.
No, truly it is, actually. I'm good for now. I just wanted to ask that one right now.
Very good.
Okay.
Do you believe that you have come here into this time-space reality with reason? Do you think that the environment that surrounds you and the passage of time gives you an ability to focus? As a creator, do you understand that focusing is what all creation is about? So wouldn't anything that causes a focusing of energy be to your advantage? Are you very interested in taking your leading edge camera out onto the deck of the ship and pointing the lens of it out into the blue, where that is all you see is just the blue, and taking a photograph of the blue? Are you more interested in maybe the horizon, or maybe an island sticking up, or maybe a piece of the ship or the point of someone's nose? In other words, isn't it more satisfying to find something to focus your lens upon? And that is what this time-space reality gives you. You are energy, but energy is nothing without focus. There is no satisfaction of a thinker unless you find something to focus upon. And there's no satisfaction in thinking unless you can feel the relationship of the expanding thought. And so that's why this time-space reality is so delicious. It gives you the opportunity to begin with the premise of who you are and reach from the context of what you are living for a new idea and feel the disparity in it, and then focus the lens of your being and then discover the reality of the manifestation of it. Now that is focusing. That's living. And there is nothing about non-physical that is separated from that, because that which you are, physical counterparts of that which we are the leading edge focusing mechanisms of that which we are. So is there any way that you could extract from that non-physical does not enjoy past, present, and future? Illogical.
I love how she just starts out just as a little sidebar. Anything stimulated within you as a question, the universe will provide a direct route to it. You don't need a specific route. That question, can be answered through Abraham in this case, or through, like, when you understand, when you put it out there, the universe is instantly conspiring to bring an answer to your question. How many times have you told the story that you can't get an answer to a question? And of course, that's being answered as well, right? With as you speak, so it is, so you don't get the answer. What if you start realizing that anything stimulated within you as a question, the universe provides a direct route to it? It's like moving everything to give you and bring you that clarification. Isn't that a beautiful thing to feel and lock into? So, what is Abraham saying here? You have slowed time, space for the purpose of focusing. I love this idea that we're pioneers in a more precise discernment of contrast, right? We're on the cutting edge, leading edge of reality, the ones who are focusing in this unique way. Non-physical, they reference, can see all simultaneously, but all of our power is in this now, and we have created this construct because it gives us the ability to focus in a way that we can't maybe there, right? And I love, how she gives the analogy of focusing on the horizon, right? Well, it's more satisfying to focus your lens on something. So if everything is happening in no time and eternity, and it's all happening at once, it's like the infinite horizon, right? It's just vast. So this is giving us the ability, this experience, this construct of time gives us the ability to focus our lens on something. But, if you're just in your pure energy form, that's nothing without focusing. No satisfaction of a thinker without something to focus on. No satisfaction in thinking unless you can feel the relationship of the expanding thought. So this makes a lot of sense. And time space gives you the opportunity to begin where you are and become and manifest more from your ongoing focus. And that's what we're doing. We're just unlocking more and more. It allows me to focus, set another realization, rocket of desire, open another door with another key of realization, and then it's just up we go, right? Focus, expand, focus, expand, focus, expand. And that is just a beautiful, beautiful game. And that is the game. And you, my friend, are on the leading edge of that which we are. Physical, she said, is the leading edge of that which the non-physical is. So it's all related. So yes, time is very important from the non-physical's perspective, yet there's a perspective where it is all happening now as well. Both need each other for anything to mean anything. And that's how we do it, I believe. I hope that helps to clarify. I know it helps to clarify it for me. I do have a song to leave you with that speaks to continuing to expand your spirit, growing, ever expansive. This is Equanimous. The song is called Spirit, and it's featuring Cat Factor, who I played a song with her in Subaqueous not too long ago. This is it that I really, really love. This is another great one with Cat Factor. Spirit, hope you enjoy. Until next, no time, journey well. Love you all so, so much. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is my personal go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear me constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration, and if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place I know of to do it, period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out.
And nobody counted them. Felt fire on my insides, nothing stopping it. So keep on breathing, there's a reason why there's nothing left. But fire on my insides, nothing stopping it. So move slow, there's a reason why you do know how to move your spirit as it grows. Let your spirit take you high. Oh, oh, oh. High. Oh, oh, take your demons aside, put them in chamomile. Making the fire now turn into light, see how it should feel. Keep on breathing, there's a reason why there's nothing left. But fire on your insides, nothing stopping it.